Hi guys, we're going to continue talking about Number the Stars and doing a lesson with Number the Stars. So today what we're going to think about is we're going to connect Tiger Rising and read a little bit of Number the Stars together to think about what's important or significant, what parts kind of clue us into what's important. So remember when we read Tiger Rising, so there were some really important parts in Tiger Rising, and so I'm going to read one to you and we're going to kind of think about why it's so important. I can tell you how to cure that, said Willie Mae, pointing with her cigarette at his legs. I can tell you right now, don't need to go to no doctor. Huh, said Rob. He stopped chewing his gum and held his breath. What if Willie Mae healed him and then he had to go back to school? Sadness, said Willie Mae, closing her eyes and nodding her head. You keeping all that sadness down low in your leg. You're not letting it get up to your heart where it belongs. You got to let that sadness rise up. So this was an important theme in the book with Tiger Rising with Robert, right? With Rob, rather, that he was sad, and we see this repeated, this sadness in the mood. So what kind of clues suggest a passage is worth reading? Because we read lots of passages when reading. What points make it show us that it's really important? First, if an image or a word is repeated often, it might be a symbol of something bigger. So if you see something repeated, that's probably meaning it's important. Notice if something catches you by surprise and stands out. Think, why might the author have put this surprising part in? And lastly, notice if a new insight comes onto a character, if the character realizes something different. So we're going to read a quick passage in Number the Stars, and then I want you to think about how it connects to earlier parts of the text. Anne-Marie was almost asleep when there was a light knock on the bedroom door. Candlelight appeared as the door opened and her mother stepped in. Are you asleep, Anne-Marie? No. Why? Is something wrong? Nothing's wrong, but I'd like to get you up and come out into the living room. Peter's here. Papa and I want to talk to you. Anne-Marie jumped out of bed and Kirsty grunted in her sleep. Peter! She hadn't seen him in a long time. There was something frightening about him being here at night. Copenhagen had a curfew, and no citizens were allowed after 8 o'clock, so we're starting to see sort of a surprise here. It brought back memories of happier times, and her parents loved Peter too. They said he was like a son. Barefoot, she ran through the living room and into Peter's arms. He grinned, kissed her cheek, and ruffled her long hair. You've grown taller since I saw you last, he told her. You're all legs. Anne-Marie laughed. I won the girls' foot race last Friday at school, she told him proudly. Where have you been? We've missed you. My work takes me all over, Peter explained. Look, I brought you something. One for Kirsty, too. He reached into his pocket and he pulled out 2 seashells. Anne-Marie put the smaller one on her table to save it for her sister. She held the other in her hands, turning it to the light, looking at the rigid, pearly surface. It was so like Peter to bring the right gift. For your Mama and Papa, I brought something more practical, 2 bottles of beer. Mama and Papa smiled and raised their glasses. Papa took a sip and wiped the foam from his upper lip, then his face became more serious. Anne-Marie said, Peter tells us that the Germans have issued orders to close many stores for Jews. So I talked to Sophie Rosen this afternoon after you told me about the button shop, Mama said. She knows what is happening, but doesn't think it will affect them. So you guys, if you want to pause this and read on, you could read on to this. But this is showing us, first of all, we knew Peter had kind of disappeared, and it's weird that he's coming at night. We knew that they couldn't go to the beach anymore, yet Peter has these shells, so he's somehow at the beach. And we also know that the button shop was closed. So the person who owns the button shop is Jewish. So we're knowing that this is a place that we have to pause because there's something surprising here. So I think that this is a child's example. I think that this part represents how Anne-Marie was so protective of the Jewish, that she is Jewish because Anne-Marie printed the Star of David on her hand and was really brave to stand up for Ellen. She's learning how there's not always a good world and it's evil too. Okay. And Anne-Marie is a really good friend because Anne-Marie risks her lives to save her friend. Friends will take care of them. So, well, the parents earlier in the story said how people take care of each other and how they'll take care of the Rosens if anything happens. And also with the button shop, how their friends will take care of them. So this is a common theme. So when we're reading historical fiction, we really have to think about the theme. So when you are reading, I want you to think about, notice if an image or symbol is repeated, note if something catches you by surprise, or if an insight dawns on character, because these things are usually parts that are showing that there's something important.